Good morning, TK, and happy Tuesday. We are going to get started today with some reading. We have two objectives for reading today, so we're going to go ahead and go over those two objectives. Objective is what we are going to learn. I can identify more and less. Our second objective is I can identify characters. So we're going to be going over a couple things today. One thing we're going to start with is our unit concept board here. So for each story, we go over a few different things. We go over a shape, a color, an idea. That's going to be the first thing we're going to look at. And then our second objective here, we're going to be talking about the characters in our new story. Our new story for this unit is Peter and the Wolf. And if you remember from when we read this story yesterday, there's something very special about this book, and that is that it uses music to help tell the story. Each of the characters have a different instrument that represents them. So today we're going to be talking about the characters and hearing the different instruments. So let's get started. First, we're going to begin by going over our unit concept board here. I'm going to scoot it up so you guys can see a little better. Here we go. And we're going to be looking at some stuff on our board here. What shape do you see at the top? What shape is that? Well, it has three sides. 1, 2, 3. What shape has three sides? A triangle, very good. Now, if you notice, this triangle has all the same sides, but this one has different lengths of sides, and this one over here is even pointing a different way, but they're all triangles. So one thing we're going to notice this unit is that we might see triangles kind of that look different from each other, but as long as they have three sides and 3 points, we know that it's a triangle. So something else that we see here are some different animals, some different foods, and some different objects on this side. But there's something about the ones in this blue square here, this blue rectangle, that they have something in common. What do you guys notice about the things in our blue column here? They all kind of have the same color. What color is that? White. All of our stuff here in our blue rectangle is white. I see a glass of maybe it's like milk. I see some snowmen, some clouds. Those are all things that can be white. That's going to be our unit color for this unit. So we're going to be talking a lot about white, talking about some triangles. And the last thing we're going to be talking about is more and less. Remember, that was part of our objective. What do you see on this whole board that has more of something? I see that this glass of milk has more milk than this glass of milk. See how the milk goes all the way up to the top? I also see that this snowman has more snow than this snowman. What about the clouds? What do you notice about the clouds here? This group of clouds has a lot more clouds than this side does. So let's talk about what we see in our middle column here. In our orange column, I see some food. If we're talking about more and less, what could you tell me about the food that we see here? Let's start with the eggs. Which basket has less eggs? So remember, we were talking about more, and we were talking about a fuller glass or a larger amount of snow, a bigger group of clouds. If we're talking about less, we're going to be talking about a smaller amount of something. So if we're looking at the eggs in the basket here, which basket has less eggs? The white eggs or the brown eggs? right? The brown eggs has less in its basket. What about the plate of cake? Where is there less cake? There, right here. See, this cake is almost gone. There is less cake left. But here on this plate, we have a whole cake piece here. There is more cake here. Now let's look at our ice cream. Ooh, we've got maybe like vanilla ice cream here. And this one, maybe it could be like strawberry ice cream. Which one has less ice cream? The vanilla or the strawberry? The strawberry, very good. Okay, we're gonna look at our last column here. Over here, we've got some things with stripes and spots. We've got some candy canes, some dogs, some horses. Let's start with our candy cane up here. Which candy cane has more stripes? Ooh, here on the left, you'll notice there's a lot more stripes on this candy cane. Now we're gonna look at our dogs. We've got some white dogs with black spots, but one of them has more spots. Which dog has more spots? The one on the left or the one on the right? Very good. The one on the left has more spots. Now we're going to look at these spots on this horse down here. Which one has more spots? The one on the left or the one on the right? The one on the right, he has more spots on him, and they're bigger too. So we were able to identify more and less from our unit concept board here. We're going to be talking about that more during this unit. We're going to be seeing about things being more or less. We're going to be talking about triangles. We're going to look out for the color white. That's what we're going to be on the lookout for while we read Peter and the Wolf. Now, our second objective here is that we're going to be working on identifying characters. I'm going to put up some characters on the board here, and we're going to first name them. Then we're going to talk about which instrument goes with which character. So let's start with Peter. Peter is one of the characters in our story, and this is what he looks like. We also have the bird and the duck, who were two of the animals that Peter saw when he left his house to go into the meadow. Peter's grandfather was also there. He was not very happy with Peter leaving the meadow. There's his grandfather. And here's the cat who is creeping up on the bird. We also have the wolf. Ooh, scary. We have the wolf. And lastly, we have the hunters who came and took the wolf off to the zoo. So these are all of our characters from our story. Next, I'm going to be playing some little snippets of music, and we're going to hear which instrument matches which character. And then at the end, I'm going to play them for you guys to be able to tell me which character that instrument matches to. Okay, the first character that we are going to hear is Peter. And Peter is represented by the violins, the string instruments. So here is what Peter's instrument sounds like. Next, we have the little bird that Peter sees in the meadow. And the little bird is represented by a flute playing very high. Next, we are going to hear the cat, and the cat is played by a clarinet. Next, we will hear the duck, and his instrument is an oboe. Next, we have Peter's grandfather, and his instrument is a bassoon. Next, we have the wolf, and the wolf's instrument is the French horn. Very scary. And last, we have our soldiers, and our soldiers are represented by timpani. Timpani is different types of drums that kind of sound like big marching bands. So now we have heard all of the different characters and their instruments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing some of the characters' instruments for you, and I want you to take a video telling me which characters you heard. So I'm going to put them up here to remind you who our characters are. These are all of the characters from our story here: the bird, Peter, his grandfather, the soldiers, the wolf, the cat, and the duck. Now I'm going to play 3 different instruments that you heard, and I want you to tell me which characters you heard from the instruments, okay? So you're going to take a video telling me which 3 characters, instruments I'm going to play now. So listen up, get your listening ears out. Okay, that was number 1. So which character was that? Okay, here's number 2. Okay, that was number 2. All right, here's your last character. See if you can figure out who this one is. Okay, so those are the 3 characters that I'm going to ask you guys to take a video just saying which 3 characters did I play for you. So go ahead, do that and upload it to the portfolio, and I'll see you back here for handwriting and phonics.